This is the Skull Shadow Karambit, another in my extreme budget series, exploring these incredibly cheap karambits, seeing if we can gain any sort of functionality from these. All right, and it's not, I gotta say, it's not looking too good for this particular karambit. Hold on, let me show you something. Let me show you something pretty funny, actually. This is the box it came in. Now, I'm pretty sure that this picture is Ernest Emerson. I could be wrong. I mean, it doesn't show the face. But I think I remember seeing that picture on some Emerson stuff. Right? So I think they lifted that graphic, maybe changed it around a little bit. That's hilarious. All right. First of all, the best thing about this is just the graphic on the handle. I mean, so let me give you a close-up. All right, you see, well, damn, that is pretty badass. We got Halloween coming up. I'd actually like to see, you know, a more expensive, better knife with some graphics of that pop out like that. There you see the blade. They give you a combo edge. Not very sharp at all, but it is extremely pointed, which is more than half the battle with a karambit modeled after a tiger's claw. Tip slashing and tip cutting are some of the most useful techniques with it, and draw cutting. As you can see, a partial hollow grind, has an opening hole and a flipper. All right, speaking of the flipper design on this is horrible. It's slanted in the wrong way, all right, so that I mean, yeah, the flipper is non-functional. I don't know how hard you would have to hit that to make it work, but it's just, the flipper is pointless on this. Luckily, the opening hole works much better, all right? So don't even bother with the very poorly designed flipper. All right, now this was originally an assisted opener, okay? And if you're wondering how they assisted it, well, I de-assisted it because even with the assist, the flipper did not work. Like, you would push it and it wouldn't even lock up, okay? The assist was dumb, it was non-functional, so I removed it. This is what the assist was. It was just this springy little bar that's where I cut it off. Alright, and that bar was basically in there, kind of giving it a little bump, but it didn't work. Alright, so the assist was fairly easy to remove. All right, and removing the assist actually allowed you to more easily use the deployment hole. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. As far as the ergonomics, it's made for medium-sized hand. My hand is medium-sized, and that's how it fits me. All right, and if you want to hold it the other way, thumb ramp here, actually good ergonomics. There. As far as the construction, the handle is actually surprisingly solid because of how thick they made these aluminum scales. So the handle actually surprised me with how solid it was. Open pillar construction, ample jimping everywhere. Alright, so that's a good thing. The ring is fairly comfortable because you see it's rounded there. But the solidness of the lockup is bad. Alright, let's show this. It is locked. You can see it's locked there. You can see that. But if I apply some pressure, I can force it to fail. Okay, so, you know, D- as far as the lockup, not good at all. That's not going to matter if you're doing draw cuts, all right, because the force is going this way. But if you plan to do any sort of technique that would impact on this, well, that's what would happen. There is a flipper there, so it would essentially pinch you. Okay, in summary, you know, some good points, cool graphic, yeah, very solid handle, but in all other aspects, the deployment was bad. It needed to be de-assisted. The lockup was bad. I couldn't even get it to lock up without filing the partial tang a little. And even though it can now deploy and lock up, if you put pressure like a spine whack or even just pushing on it fairly hard, the lock fails, okay? So major problems, even for this price range. I've seen stuff the same price that was actually better in all those categories, and I will show those eventually. All right, but yeah, I'm sorry, Skull Shadow, but I'm gonna have to give this like a D. I mean, it has no use unless you're just willing to completely take it apart and fix up every little part of the pivot and tang and mechanics of it, and basically, you know, basically reconstruct it and fix it yourself. Other than that, not really a usable tool even for the price.